This is Odin's Wolf Survival with another project. This time it's a hemp rope belt patterned after the medieval ones. This one ended up being basically 36 strands. You start out with 9 35-foot lengths of hemp cord, but it's basically a loop, the rope, which you can buy the rope and do this. I just wanted something completely different, and the knot end. You end up with it, you want it long enough to go around your waist and over your clothes, because in the medieval ages they had a belt that went around their pants, and then their pants was rolled down, and that's how, around the belt, that's how their pants were held up. They had a long tunic usually over everything that came down almost to the knees, mid-thigh down to the knees, and then another belt, what I call the bat belt, on the outside that held their gear, their knives, their pouches, their things along that line. Well, in today's world, when your stuff is on and off the belt, it's easier for me anyway. I like it better, especially if I'm doing something, because I can take the outer belt off if it's got a knife and pouch and everything like that, hanging on a tree branch in camp or doing something, without having to take off basically my pants belt. Or if I've got a coat, jacket, everything that would be on your pants belt would be hidden under all this crap. I've even hung a pistol off of stuff like this out in the back, and it's easily accessible. It's over your outer shirt, everything along that line, and it keeps everything snug and tight, and you can add to it and take it off rather easily. So basically how this works is, once you get your knot and your loop formed up, make it just tight enough to go through, the knot goes through, and then this rope ends up, according to calculations, better than 750-pound breaking strength. So I doubt you're going to break it. I'm not sure if I want to beeswax it yet, the whole rope, to add a little bit, to keep it from rotting, help keep it from rotting and things along that line. I've got a smaller test one that I made that I'll do that with, and I'll probably talk about that later. This can be all trimmed off, but I decided to leave it for decorations because I've got some beads and stuff that I'm going to put on here, and you just slide them up and tie a knot. So that's just something that I decided to do. But how it works: slide your knife on, put it around your waist, pop the knot through the loop, and there it is. Alright, to start this project, you're going to need what I'm using is hemp cord. I got this at Hobby Lobby. This will be enough to do one of the belts at the measurements that I'm using. I can get 9 cords at 35 feet each out of this with a little bit left over. This is $4.99, I believe. Yep, $4.99 for the bundle. Now, it's not the best hemp in the world. As you can see, it's got some different sizes in it. But since there's going to be multiple cords in it, it'll be, what, 36 cords, I think, all done down through the length of the belt. So the variations in size won't really matter, and it'll lend a kind of a unique look to it, as you'll see, or as you saw in the very first of the video with the completed belt. Now, to start this off, you take, as you can see right there, as I was talking about it earlier, the various thicknesses. You take your cord, and this is just a simple cordage twist, and that's what we'll be doing through the whole thing virtually. Twist it until it wants to twist up like that, because you find your midpoint, and twist it. And I'll twist clockwise, bring it over counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, twist it clockwise, and then bring it back counterclockwise, twist it clockwise, counterclockwise. As you can see, that's just the simple way to make cordage. Okay, you start out with 9 lengths of hemp cord, 35 feet long is the measurements I did. You fold it in half so it's 17.5 feet long. Start in the middle, twist it up using a cordage twist and just make 9 links of cordage, which will shrink it from 17.5 feet to about 14.5 feet. And once you get that done, you'll have what looks like this. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Okay, once you get your 14-foot section, 14.5-foot section braided up, this is what you end up with after you cordage twist your 35 feet. Then you cordage twist this again. You fold it in half, but you go the other way. Because if you go the same way, you'll open up the weave, which is not what you want. So you have to go the other way, which is kind of awkward at first. So you get it forming up, you take the bottom, twist it counterclockwise, take it clockwise, twist it counterclockwise, and take it over clockwise. Counterclockwise, clockwise. You keep doing that until it'll form up just a little over 6 feet, I believe it is, of double cord, which looks exactly like that. And you'll do that 9 times. You'll end up with something that looks like this. Okay, once you have your original 9 twist braided twice, you'll get something that looks like these. That's 32 feet with a double cordage twist on it. Gives me about 6.5 feet each cord. I think it is 6.5 feet, somewhere roughly. Take 3 of them, tie them together, and now we're going to do a cordage twist again, but instead of doing it twice, we're going to make a rope with 3. So you start out, you have your 3 tied together, and to start out, you take one, twist it. You want to twist it to where you're twisting them tighter. Twist the top 2 and hold it, and then same thing, put your thumb on the top, twist the top. You can see you got one on the bottom here and here. Twist this one, move it down, slide your thumb, twist this one, grab the bottom one, pull it over. You always want 2 sliding across the top like that. It's kind of complicated when you see it in a way, but once you pick up the trick, it's pretty easy to do. You just twist it tighter, grab the bottom, and pull it over. Twist it tighter, grab the bottom, pull it down over the top, take the bottom up to your working, this is your working cord, pull it over, push it down. And then you're forming up. Let's see if we can get it to where, there we go. You're making rope. Alright, once you're down to your final 3, tie the ends off good. You'll need to tie them off with something that's easily undone, because once this is done, you'll form this into a loop, braid it back amongst itself, which will be a little bit later in the video, and a knot on the other end that'll pull through, and that's how this is secured. This is the opposite of twisting up one of these. As you remember, we was twisting and bringing it out, twisting it twisting it clockwise, bringing it counterclockwise. This one, you can see it opens up if you do that. So we got all three of them formed up. This is 6 feet of cord. We want to twist counterclockwise, have these two down, bring it over like this, take your bottom one, twist it counterclockwise, lay it beside the one you did before, bottom one counterclockwise, and you're just rolling it over the bottom one each time. So you're twisting this counterclockwise, then bringing it over clockwise. You always got 2 legs down when you're doing triple like this, and you can see it's forming up your rope. The tension in between holds it together pretty well, although when you set it down, you want to be careful with it so it don't get hit and then whip itself undone, which it'll zip loose some of it. Then you'll have to figure out where you're at and start it again. So that's what you'll get. You continue this until your length of your rope's done, which this should be about, I'm guessing 5.5 feet. Then that'll give us enough room to do the knot and figure the length that you'll need, because everybody's waist size is different, or what you want it around. So that'll be worked out towards the end. Alright, this is the rope belt. Pretty well done. I knotted this off, frayed the end a little bit. We're gonna put the eye in. So I want my eye about so big where I can get my thumb through. The other end will have the knot tied on it. This will be a trick trying to do this, because I'm working around the camera, so where I can see what I'm doing. Alright, you fray out the end with your 3 strands and let them fall where they may. That's opened up. You have top, center, bottom. Right here is where we want to go in. So we'll open up the weave. We'll take the center one and pull it through. Pull all the mess through. Normally, I didn't bother to cut any of this off because I twisted this up. Okay, we got that in. You have your top and your bottom yet. So what you do, you went through this one. This one will go through the one above it, basically, because this is a 3-strand rope. One of these strands has to go through each one of the other 3. Alright, we got that pulled through, and then that leaves this one here. So it has to go through that one. Once you got that started, it's the way you want to get your rope started. Now the typical standard way is you have one of these ends 1/3 of the way around, and you just start over under weaving all the way down. I want to do something a little bit different. So just for grins, I'm going to take these weaves, I'm going to go over, hopefully I'll have enough, over, and down through. which will give you kind of a three-cornered knot. I don't know what they call it. That'll tend to pull that tight to where you have your knot. Okay, once you've got those three pulled through, take one. See, it goes under the rope. You want to go over and then under this one. So you pull it through and then tighten it up. This one comes over, so you want to go, this one comes out, go under, pull it through. This one comes out, go over, under, tighten it back up, over, under. Once I got to that point, I'm pulling everything tight. Okay, you take your knot, as you're looking at it, you go over, form a loop, go over both of these, and then your third leg, you go over and then down through your first one. And you end up with what looks like that. And you pull all that tight, it'll pull up into the base of your loop knot, and it gives you sort of a decorative look. You know, like I said, all this needs to be pulled very, very tight. And then what I'll do is I'll whip some more cord up, and I'll pull this down through like this, just straight down through one of these. Like that. And I'll whip this with a twisted up cord wrap. Cut these off right here. Wrap it down, and then we'll have it done. The loop end. And I'll have pictures of this up after it's done. But this end right here will be wrapped real tight after your knot. It's definitely different looking. But this is the other end of the rope for the belt where we'll be tying the knot. So I've just pulled it around my waist and pulled it in through the eye to see where and this is where I want the knot to be. So I marked it, tied it off, unthreaded the extra. Now we're going to tie the stopper knot, which go over. Once you got the 3, the one you went over, go over the 2, then take the last one of the 2 that you went over and go through the first loop. You'll end up with what looks like that. Pull it down. And I do it again. Go over the 2, then the last one of the 2 that you went over, you take it over and through your first loop. In this way, get that out of there. You can see it's forming up kind of a longish knot. And let's do it one more time. And 3 back through. Alright, that formed a long knot. We're going to do this again, but instead of putting it up here, we're going to put it down here. So you go over, over and down. And as you're forming it up, keep it low. Okay, when you pull that low like that, there's your knot. Then what I'll do is I'll wrap these like I did this end. Wrap this lash it real tight, and you have your knot, which will just slide through and hold secure.
Smash the subscribe button such as you would your fearsome foe.